join me today. I know that it's a holiday weekend, this podcast being released the weekend of 4th of July in the United States, when we celebrate the independence, the freedom of this nation coming to be. And so July 6, 2025 is the date of our release. And I'm a lover of summer. I'm sure you've picked that up if you're listening to these podcasts, watching these video casts frequently. And I am thinking this weekend about growth. Not just because we are working and have been working tirelessly on launching our new ministry, Flourish, for vocational wellness and holistic human flourishing, here on the beautiful property of Hillwood Presbyterian Church, where we welcome all, any who would like to come and be a part of this collaborative collective of folks who want to come together and do some co-working, who want to live life in a more holistic way, being able to co-work here on the property, but also being able to stop for a break and connect with others in our break room or have some creativity there. In the break room also serves as an art room. And even to be able to come into our food pantry and be of service, or on the days when we're having food coming in, help us load up a little bit, or when we have groups that come in. About once a week we have a group that comes in and is in the art room to do some creative expressions that are encouraging to others in the community. So there's all sorts of ways Flourish can be a home base for those who are looking for a place to live out their vocation and to truly engage with others in a very uplifting, positive way. We ask for a commitment to full inclusion in our space. We ask for a commitment to being kind and supportive to others. And it's a way that you can come and be a part of this space and live out your vocation. We'll have networking events. We're working on getting our therapeutic suite opened up so that there will be practitioners on site offering their therapeutic modalities to whoever in the community would like to come and be a part of that. And it's all got me thinking about growth, including the fact that I finally planted some flowers just here in the last couple weeks, and I'm trying to keep them alive through the hot summer sun of Nashville, Tennessee. And summer to me, especially because I am like a novice gardener, is a season where I think about growth and I reflect upon growth as I'm watering my plants one more time today. I'm looking for, where is anything growing? I have this wild, chaotic raspberry bed in the back beyond my house, and it's not really gotten a lot of TLC from me this year because of my shoulder repair and the concussion I've been healing from. And so I've just been astounded to be able to go out in my backyard to my raspberry patch and to see that there's berries. I've been able to pick berries a couple of times, those raspberries off right off the bush, and being able to enjoy them in my granola cereal in the morning. It's just such a great delight. And to realize that really without me doing much of anything this year, these plants are growing. They are bearing the fruit they are intended to bear. It's just so beautiful to see. I got tomato plants growing all over the place, partly because I just did a little experiment. In the winter, I just kind of tucked some of the grape tomatoes that were not good to eat anymore. Just tucked them into the soil and thought, okay, let's just see, will they sprout? And indeed, I have purchased 3 cherry tomato or grape tomato plants this year to plant. But I have 8 because 5 just sprung up from the ways that I was experimenting. So I hope you have a way to get your hands in the dirt a little bit, or to just be paying attention maybe as you walk through a public garden or a park or even like where you live, there might be some landscaped area, or maybe there's like a wild forest that you go to, and you pay attention to what is growing, to what is living all around us that we actually need for our own health and well-being. We're not going to flourish as a human species if the rest of the environment around us isn't flourishing. We are interdependent on one another in a way that we human beings have long forgotten. Sometimes the earth has to wake us back up to that, and horrible storms come through because of how we've lived, and we get awakened to the way that we cannot live without this beautiful Mama Earth. So as you are entering into this July month of 2025, don't even know how in the world it got to be July, but as we're entering into this season, I wonder if we might just take a little time as we pause to get a little more peace within us today, to be reflecting on what is growing in our own lives. You know, there are habits that grow up like weeds that we may not want in our garden, but they still grow. There are things that we work really hard, ways that we like plant our seed through the way we work in the world, the ways that we plant our seeds and how we're like building relationships with other people. And the question is like, what is growing? Like, what have I sown and what is growing? So as we get ourselves comfortable today, I'm putting out the invitation for us to listen deep within, to be able to hear what really is growing in our lives. Step number 1 is to notice. Step number 2 might be to do something about it, but sometimes things grow without us even doing much to make them grow, like my raspberry bushes. So I'm going to invite you to get yourself comfortable, and this might be a great pause for peace for you to go outside and lay in the grass, or take a yoga mat out there if you want, or just like go sit in your backyard and take your shoes off and put your feet in the grass. Or maybe you want to be in a time of quiet where you're just somewhere in some grass or on some sand or somewhere in a forest where you might be like literally stepping back and forth on the earth as we get ourselves grounded once again, able to turn inward and to hear the truth that we need to know. So I'll invite you to take a deep breath whenever you are in that position of repose that you are hoping to hold during this time of pause for peace. Maybe you want to be even like extra out there and you want to like be in a yoga pose like tree for this time of quiet. When you're there, let's take a deep breath from the belly. Hold a little bit before we release. We might do that one more time. Deep breath from the belly. Hold it before we release. We're going to do a third deep breath because we don't do enough deep breathing in our lives, most of us, and we may not even realize where like the breath gets caught in our body. So on this third deep breath, really breathing from our diaphragm, I'm going to invite us to pay attention if there's any place that feels tight in this like wave of air trying to come in and out. If there's any place that feels tight, make note of that and do your best to invite the breath to like release that block and to move in the way that the breath needs to move. So let's do our third deep breath from the diaphragm. And hold it for a moment at the top. This is like a good way to be working on those diaphragmatic muscles. And then slowly release. And being aware of at the space of our heart in the center of our chest. I invite us to almost like open the little door there, like peek through the little curtain there, that we might like dive in and be able to be in communion with the Spirit of God that lives in us. The Spirit of God, sometimes we call it soul, sometimes we call it pneuma, but it's through the heart space that we're able to move inward and commune in this intentional way with the great wisdom that lives within us. You may literally feel like, okay, in order to do this, to open your heart space, you might want to make this motion. If you're watching the video cast, I'm making the motion of literally putting my hands, the back of my palms together at my heart space, and then literally using my fingers to open up the energy there. In Healing Touch, this is a part, just one part, of a technique called the chakra spread. Sometimes, it can go all the way out. Sometimes the energy of our heart just needs to be open. The energy of any one of our chakras needs to be open wide. And then we might place our hands, palms up, in our lap. I like to place mine on a pillow, hence the reason I'm usually having a pillow with me in this recording. So that I can listen. I invite us all to listen through this spiritual eye of the heart. And if you're finding it difficult to connect with that presence that is the presence that is in you and in all things, perhaps you inwardly or outwardly, if you're alone, you can do this. Or if you're not alone, you can do it as well and just let people wonder. But maybe you actually say, hello, welcome, I'm so glad to see you. I'm eager to connect with the depth that you are that lives in me. You may visualize yourself like extending your hand out to this presence that lives within. And to just carry that visualization a little bit further, you might see yourself or hear yourself asking this amazing depth, this presence, this divine aspect of God that is within all of us. Ask this part of the Great Spirit, what is it that is growing in my life? And then allow this wisdom that is God that lives in you to reveal to you what now is growing in your life. And no judgment around what you have revealed to you. Truly allow your depths, your wisdom, this aspect of self that is like your soul, allow this part to speak to you so that you honestly can see, can know, can hear, what is it in my life that is growing? Continue to be in this connection, and if you find yourself feeling pulled off, come back with getting your heels back planted, grounded where you are, opening the heart once again, taking a deep breath. These are ways to come back into the now, back into this present moment when you are listening. You're watching, you're noticing the sensations in your body even. What is it in my life that is growing right now? Let's take one more deep breath. As we release, we do so expressing inwardly gratitude for whatever has been revealed. Thanksgiving for whatever you have seen or heard or had that sensation physically within. I invite you to bring your palms together at your heart space in this prayer pose. Before we bring ourselves back to the awareness of one another and of this time when we have been pausing for peace, if you will, find some way to inwardly have an imprint of what it is that is growing in you, whatever it is has been revealed to you during this time, so that you'll remember it. You'll be able to find a way to concretize it, to bring it into waking world, so that you can see and remember this each and every day, this amazing wisdom that has come during this time. We can bow to the mystery of all that is, the mystery of God and the very mystery of our lives. And when we're ready, you can come back with open eyes if they have been closed. And I wonder if you're feeling a little bit more centeredness within, depending on what you have heard and what has come during this time of stillness. You may feel anything but centered. You might feel as if you're agitated because of what has come, like perhaps something like anger has arisen and you're continuing to feel that in your body right now, or you're finally feeling that in your body for the first time as you're beginning to claim your own being and your own voice and your own space, and you are feeling anger growing because of the ways that your boundary and the boundary of your skin literally has been violated in your life. Maybe you've actually heard that what is growing in your life is a connection with somebody who just makes you laugh, somebody who just helps you to see the joy in life. And so you're finding that what's growing in your life is that sense of effervescent joy, that laughter, that contagiousness of being uplifted, no matter what's going on in the rest of the world. And maybe because of what's going on in the rest of the world, you are finding what is growing in you is a heart that is so heavy, like you cannot stand to hear one more town bombed and one more innocent life taken. You cannot stand to hear one more person's rights stripped away. You cannot stand to hear the bitterness and bullying and angry way that words are used to tear others down. You cannot take one more bit, and your heart is just so heavy and congested with the pain of that sorrow. This is very important for you to come to awareness of whatever it is growing in you. Because like I said, sometimes weeds grow, not just in the garden, but also in our lives. And sometimes things that we didn't want in our garden grow in our garden. I've had the experience of wondering, what is this grapevine that I know is invasive doing in my raspberries? And I was ready to yank it out the other day. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, Jule, maybe I'm doing a little experiment. The grapevine is actually sheltering from that scorching heat of Middle Tennessee these raspberry plants that are trying to produce, because they haven't produced before, and they have in other places produced amazingly. And so I'm just kind of curious, is this the year that they need a little bit of that shade? And so maybe there's a purpose for that grapevine. So I got to be careful about things that are growing in my life that I might not actually like maybe we heard discontent is growing in our lives, and we want that gone. We think that's a weed that needs to be gone, and yet discontent is what actually leads us to make the change that needs to happen in our lives and in the world around us. And so discontent may be an awareness that we need to be very, very clear about that growing in our lives, so that we actually move in a new way in the world. So we want to be very non-judgmental about anything we have heard, anything that's been revealed to us in this pause for peace about what is growing in our lives. It might mean that if we're burdened with the sorrow of the world, it might mean that we need to get up and do something about it. But it also might mean that we need to learn how to do some clearing. We might be empaths who are taking in too much of the pain that is around us. And it's not our job to take in the pain. It's our job to be more of a vessel, like a conduit. So if, as an empath, you are feeling a lot of congestion in your heart, it's beautiful to have this open heart that can literally feel the pain of the world, and yet we can't live healthy and whole that way. So we have to have a way to ground ourselves and clear that, and then get busy acting about it. And it might be also that we need how to learn to shield ourselves from some of the energy and the energy vampires that come at us all day long. We have to be very non-judgmental about what it is we have heard during this quiet about what is growing in our lives, because then we will know what to celebrate, how to move forward, and where to make some changes in our own life and in the life of the world. I look forward to seeing you next time on Pause for Peace. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you will continue to pay attention to what is it that is growing